Hello, boys and girls. It's Miss McGillicuddy here. Today, we're going on an interactive music appreciation adventure. We'll learn all about the composer Camille Saint-Saens and his collection of songs called The Carnival of the Animals. Let's get started. So, who was Camille Saint-Saens? He was a French composer born on October 9th, 1835, in France, of course. When Camille Saint-Saens was just a toddler, his mother and his great aunt began teaching him music. Like Mozart, he was a child prodigy, which means he was really good at a very young age. At 2.5, he could pick out tunes on the piano, and at age 3, he composed his first piece. He was only 5 years old when he gave his first public performance, and when he was 7, he was giving public concerts as a pianist and an organist. He also began to study with others. When he was 10, he made his public debut and offered to play any of Beethoven's 32 sonatas from memory, and Beethoven's sonatas were hard. He became one of the most famous French composers. Saint-Saens also liked to write poetry, scientific papers, and essays about music. Sometimes he made enemies because he insulted his fellow musicians when he wrote about them. He was also a conductor, a critic, a music scholar, a teacher, and a composer. He composed operas, but none were very popular. He is best known for concertos, an organ symphony, Danse Macabre, which is Dance of the Dead, which we've studied before, some of us, and The Carnival of Animals. One of Saint-Saens' most well-known compositions, The Carnival of Animals, was originally written to make fun of some of his friends. But now it is enjoyed by children all over the world for the pictures it paints of animals. Before we dive into the music of Carnival of Animals, let's talk a little bit about what we're going to be hearing. Camille Saint-Saens wrote his piece to be performed by a big orchestra. Maybe you see some instruments in the orchestra that you recognize. Let's go over some of the instruments that we'll be hearing. An orchestra is made up of 4 families. And they're called families because they have a lot in common. Let's start with the yellow family that you see there. Those instruments are in the string family. There's a harp, violins, violas, cellos, and double bass. They're all family members because they all have strings. The orange part is the woodwind family. In the woodwind family, we have clarinets, piccolos and flutes, oboes, bassoons and double bassoons. In the woodwind family, the piccolo and flutes are blown into, kind of like if you blow into an empty soda bottle, you can get a cool sound. Piccolos and flutes are kind of similar in that way. You can make a sound out of them that way. And then clarinets and bassoons and oboes, they use a reed, which is like a very thin piece of almost like wood that is put into the mouthpiece that you blow on and make vibrate, and that's what makes the sound. In the green part, we have our brass family, and in the brass family, we have horns, French horns, trumpets, trombones, tubas, and all these instruments are made out of shiny gold brass. And in the back, we have the percussion family. The percussion family is any instrument that you can hit, scrape, or shake to make a sound. We use sticks and mallets usually to make these sounds on our percussion instruments. Like we have the timpani, we have snare drum, bass drum, cymbals, the xylophone or marimba. And actually, the piano is also a percussion instrument because in the back of a piano, There's all these strings. If you open up the piano, you see all these strings. And when you press down on a key, there's a little hammer that strikes the strings. Because it's striking the strings, it's a percussion instrument. If you'd like to learn more about the orchestra, you can go to classicsforkids.com, where you can go to an interactive map of the orchestra, click on each instrument and hear what they sound like. And last but not least, one of the most important people of the orchestra is the conductor. A conductor is different than a composer. We get those two words mixed up a lot. Don't forget, the conductor stands in front of the orchestra with his baton and helps them know when to start, when to stop, how fast to go, when to play louder, when to play softer, and so on and so forth. A composer, like Camille Saint-Saens, is someone who writes the music. Let's get started. Look at all these animals that Camille Saint-Saens used as inspiration. I want you to be the best listener that you can be while we listen to each one of these songs. You can close your eyes, or even better, you can get up and move your body to however the music is sounding like to you. Is the music high and light, like birds flying around? Or is the music low and heavy, like a lion's roar or an elephant walking around? Is the music fast and hoppy, like a kangaroo jumping around? Or is it slow and graceful, like a swan on the water or a tortoise walking down the street? After we listen to everything, there'll be a quiz at the end of this video. Let's get started. Congratulations, you've made it to the end. Now let's quiz ourselves. I'll play a little clip of one of the songs and let's see if you can guess it. Here's number 1. What do you think? If you guessed the aquarium or the fish, you were right. Let's try another one. Here's number 2. What do you think? The right answer is the birds. Here's number 3. Did you hear that low, upright bass playing? If you guessed the elephant, you were right. Here's number 4. What do you think? Did you hear how jumpy it was? How staccato it was? That was the kangaroo. Here's number 5. How graceful and beautiful that was. That was the swan. Let's do one more. See if you can guess this last one. What do you think? Did you hear the big roar in there? That was the lion, the king of the jungle. That's all, folks. Did you enjoy this activity? If you did, could you please leave me a comment on the blog post right underneath this video? If you do, I'll know that you're watching and you're enjoying this kind of lesson so that I can keep posting more things like this. So just go ahead and comment on something that you liked about this, or maybe your favorite animal that you listened to today. I miss everyone so much, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.